topic. Welcome, Shalini. How are you doing?
Hi Priggya, I'm doing great. How's your Tuesday going?
Tuesday is going very well. Happy Valentine's Day. I think you are the only Valentine in my life now. And my audience.
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody listening and to you as well, Priggya.
So, Shalini, I'll tell you a very interesting story on this day. Graham Bell filed the patent application of telephone, and today morning I posted about it on LinkedIn, and
I saw that.
someone messaged me saying so unromantic.
But for me, that was a very, I liked that post. I liked that post. And for
Thanks.
different people, romance means different things. I
Yeah.
had someone recently trying to hit on me saying, uh, "Tell me your love language. Let me speak just something love language something." And I said, "You want to speak to me my love language? Then I'm giving you the words. The keywords are patent, valuation, monetization, listing, and let me sell your patents for you." And that's how I express my love. And the person never came back to me after that.
That's good.
But it is my love language. What can I do? So happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day, Shalini. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
So, what's our topic for today?
So our topic is very interesting. It's called invention versus innovation because a lot of people think that these two are synonyms and they can be used interchangeably, but that probably is not possible in our language because in patents and no, and I think in business as well, we need the clarity on these terms, invention and innovation.
Sure, absolutely.
And what's your
So,
take on today's topic?
what's my take on today's topic? If I go to the dictionary, which is where I go when I'm always looking at the meaning of two words, I like to start with looking at what the dictionary says in terms of what it means. And invention means something brand new, and innovation means an improvement or the use of something that is already existing. So I can, when I invent, when I roll a wire and put a head on it, then it's a safety pin, and that's an innovation. But if I'm using that safety pin in something, then I'm innovating.
Yeah, I think very rightly said. So, innovation will always come with the use or commercialization or monetary part of it.
Correct.
So, there is a very beautiful definition which I learned, and that is my favorite definition. Tell it every time I give the difference between invention and innovation, and the definition comes from MIT. So, it's not my definition; it is from one of the greatest institutes, and it says innovation is equal to invention into commercialization or monetization. So innovation is a product of invention and commercialization. So probably we say that for innovation, invention is mandatory, and we should have a very big invention, then only something is possible. But MIT says no. Innovation can happen in the commercialization part of it as well, not only in invention. So for that, they give an example of Apple. So Apple had a good marketing strategy, good branding strategy. They innovated. Apart from in technical aspects, they also innovated in the commercialization aspects. So MIT says we cannot leave that part and consider only on the invention part. We have to consider both, and the level may vary. Sometimes the technical advancement or invention could be very high, commercialization could be low. Sometimes commercialization could be very high, invention could be low. Sometimes both can be very high.
Sure, absolutely. I think that's explained very, very well. And what so I also like the example of denim, and how just adding the rivet at the pockets and it prevented it from tearing. So, such a small, um, if you can call it an invention, but the innovation was using that rivet strategically, and and of course then the utility and sales and all, we still using it, using
Yeah,
the rivets at those key points. So that's such a small invention, but look at the scale of commercialization.
yeah, absolutely. I think it's very amazing. You just before this, you gave an example of the safety pin, and that small invention became household thing of everybody. Like, if I should say bag, it is in everybody's bag. So
Yes.
the scale of commercialization is huge. 7 people on earth using an invention.
Do you know the other example of innovation? And it's not an invention, okay? Absolutely no inventive step there. But that innovation has changed. It was one of the biggest revolutions in the history of mankind. Can you guess what I'm referring to? The printing press.
Yeah,
So there was
absolutely.
no inventive step. He took a ready-made wine press and crafted, and because his family was goldsmith, they were already working with precious metals and making molds of it. He man Of course, I'm not downplaying it, that the inventive step was in making those precise letters and affixing them to the wine press. But really, there was, he didn't have to invent the wine press from scratch. His neighbors were already using it. He just had to take it and fashion it to attach the blocks to it and have the blocks pressed down,
Wow.
have the wine pressed down, and look where it's gotten us. I don't think internet would have been possible without that dissemination of the written word.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely
innovation, you cannot discount innovation. You cannot say there has to be invention for there to be some earth-shattering patent or
correct.
earth-shattering phenomenon. So a small innovation, or just in your day-to-day household, if you take something and repurpose it and it has an industrial application which people need at that time, you have your innovation.
And Shalini, because we were discussing this, our professor used to give one example, and that I'll share. I like to share it now because that's a very interesting one. So in olden days, probably 100 years ago from now, the cart was known. A cart is a kind of a log of wood with a wheel
Mm.
that was invented 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And we also had lockers or blocks of wood in which we could put our stuff, and
Mm.
the chest kind of stuff. So we
Mm.
had boxes, we also had a cart with wheels, but we never had trolley bags. And
Correct.
what are the trolley bags that we use now? A box with wheels.
With wheels, yeah. So
So
that's the innovation part.
correct. So probably in invention, we can say that this is the combination of existing things. What's new in it? But has anybody thought about it? Do we see it? Trolley bags, I think, got invented a few decades back,
Yeah.
maybe 5 decades back, but not 100, 300,
Not
four
100.
hundred.
No,
400.
definitely not. Definitely not. So those are interesting things. So I think the important part is to realize that not everything has to be, uh, the from the patentability criteria of novelty, non-obviousness, usefulness. Usefulness, of course, because that is what takes an innovation into the next level. But looking at what we have and changing it to make something that can be used easily is good enough. It doesn't have to be a crazy inventive step or a crazy scientific phenomenon.
Absolutely. And I think we covered well
We covered
the topic well. Do we have anything to add on?
innovation. Let me see. No, I think we covered it very well. But
Yeah.
one last question I have. why are we talking about the difference between invention and innovation? I mean, you and I know, but I think we should explain.
So I think I don't know what you have in mind for, but for me, it sometimes it's very difficult for our clients to get the difference between the term innovation and invention, and they think that the term innovation is patentable, but we have to drop it down to the extent that invention is patentable, and sometimes without invention also innovation is possible. So to earn
Yes,
money, we it does not require that we should have a high level of invention. Like I just
correct,
mentioned, that the level of commercialization could be very high and the level of invention could be low, and that's
yes,
possible. So whenever we say to people that okay, you cannot get a patent on this technology, it's nothing that the heart gets broken and we cannot make money. We do not mean that. Making
correct,
money is possible, but patent is not possible, and that's
correct.
okay.
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what I had in mind. Uh, Invention and innovation, the difference matters to look at your strategy in filing your IP. So that's where I was coming from, which of course you have put in very eloquently, that we can have a competitive strategy or a growth strategy. What is the IP management strategy for your company? So in inventions, by definition, they create the market from scratch, and there
Yeah,
usually won't be any competitors. But in an innovation, there's already an existing market and there are probably already competitors, and you are trying to be one level higher. So we
yeah,
already had a taxi cab service, but what Ola and Uber did was one level up of innovation. So
correct.
it's not like they had to reinvent a cab or a different kind of cab. They just had to change the strategy of calling cabs or booking cabs. Then we also have the growth strategy, whether we are our primary offerings as a company or as a business is to create new inventions or to innovate. So
Yeah,
that's something we have to keep in mind when we are thinking of our growth strategy. And finally, of course, there's an IP team. If you are serious about your IP portfolio, then you have an IP team, and that team should be focusing on whether we want to have an invention approach or an innovation approach, which is whether we want to make our mark as the people who are the pioneers in this industry or the people who are the money makers in the industry. And the two can of course overlap, but
absolutely.
and the
And
brilliance of the industry lies in making them overlap.
and it's necessary, and it's okay, because everybody is there to earn money. Without
Sure.
commercialization, that cannot happen.
Yes.
Very well explained, Shalini. So, hi, Dr. Tom, and we have a question from him, which says, "How do invention and innovation relate in terms of patent claims?" I think we just covered.
We
Uh,
just covered it. Hi
yeah.
Tom. So you want to take it up again, Prigya,
So I
and give a
think
recap?
I'll do a brief recap of this in one sentence, that invention is the term related to patents, and innovation is the term related to patents and commercialization. Patent might or might not be there depending on the level of invention or the level of inventive step in our product, but commercialization can very well be there even if our product does not have invention.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question, Tom.
Perfect.
So, do we have anything more to add, Prigya? Now I think we are good to go.
Yes, I think we are good to go, and we'll be back next Tuesday with some interesting topic around law and technology. So, see you all next Tuesday. Bye
See ya.
bye.